Welcome back to the channel where we spotlight Black excellence in film and TV so you don't have to miss some great Black-led roles. Let's get into it. If I ask you to guess this movie, Glutton for Punishment, Never Giving Up, It's the Eye of the Tiger, would you guess Rocky? Well, you'd be wrong. I'm talking about Creed, okay? Way different movie. And when I say action, vampires, and subtle touch of gore, I'm hoping that doesn't bring Count Chocula to mind because we're talking about Blade after that. And finally, explosions. Red, white, and blue America, baby. Captain America! Yeah! Yet to be seen, but hopefully 3 fantastic movies coming to you, hopefully in 2025. Maybe one a little bit later. Or 2, or 3, or maybe never at all for any of them, because most of these movies have some drama circulating them. This has to be one of the most roller coaster rides in production history, and that would be Blade 4 pre-production. So before we get into that, Blade 4, well, first of all, I keep calling it Blade 4. It's not Blade 4, like I don't even know how it's placed in the overall franchise yet, as the story has not come out. It's gone through a few different writers, directors, and producers. So for now, it's just Blade the reboot. And it probably wouldn't be surprised if it didn't have anything to do with the original films, to be honest with you. What we know about the return of Blade is that Blade is a superhero based on Marvel comic character of the same name. This reboot will be part of the Marvel's MCU, and instead of starring Wesley Snipes like it should as Blade, like in the original trilogy, this will be starring Mahershala Ali, which I would like to see Wesley Snipes, but I'm okay with this choice too. Now, like I said, this series has some ups and downs. In October 2008, Blade's director, Stephen Norrington, was confirmed to be developing a prequel trilogy to Blade, featuring the reprisal of Deacon Frost's character. But by October 2012, the film's rights went to Marvel, and so that was kind of just done. In October of 2016, star of the Underworld series Kate Beckinsale stated that a crossover film between the franchises had been discussed as a sequel to Blade Trilogy, which would have been freaking wicked, with Wesley Snipes returning, but was declined because Marvel Studios had plans to reintroduce him into their own universe. Which brings us to the script that Marvel had started in 2014, with its own ups and downs and directors and writers and producers and whatnot. It looks like at current date, it is set for 2025 in November. Could be later, and this will also bring an end to the Marvel Phase 5 plan. So fingers crossed we can get this movie and hopefully it doesn't suck. Pun intended. Cause last month you thought the drama was over. No, we lost another director, so who knows what the hell is actually going on. Because before Black Panther, this was the original OG black superhero movie, so I'm extremely hopeful. Born of a woman attacked by a vampire, causing her to go into premature labor, doctors were able to save the baby but were unable to save the mother. But that bite left something that the child absorbed. 30 years later, the child becomes vampire hunter Blade. He is considered an anti-hero, and most people who have seen the Blade series of old or read the comic books will know that. His first appearance was in the comic book The Tomb of Dracula issue 10 as a supporting character, but he quickly went on to star in his own storylines. Blade devotes his life to ridding the world of all vampires, which I've always wondered what would he do with himself after he was the last vampire. And also, are all the vampires just, maybe this is addressed in the comic books, or I think the comic book actually starts off in like London, England or something like that. So, but in the movies, it seems like all the vampire stuff that goes down is in America. Created out of Marv Wolfman's desire to see more black heroes represented, Blade was created and has gone on to be in video games, anime, TV shows, and more movies to come. After 3 fantastic movies, Michael B. Jordan is bringing us a 4th Creed movie, but a 10th movie in the Rocky universe. Out of all the expanded universe movies arc that we seem to be in current movie culture, this one is one of my favorites. As Creed 4 enters the early stages of planning, there's a few key notes to know about the prior films. The original movie was directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed Black Panther among other movies. The first Creed movie received overwhelming praise. That means Academy Award nominations for Sylvester Stallone and a Golden Globe Best Actor win for Stallone. And though it may seem like things during the shoot went easy for Stallone, that's far from the truth, because as the film was entering pre-production, Sylvester Stallone's oldest son, Sage Stallone, died of a heart attack. Stallone has admitted that the loss almost made him full-on breakdown and spiral, but with the help of Ryan Coogler, he was able to reframe the movie as a tribute to his son, focusing on the father-son relationship that appears in the movie. Stallone said at the Golden Globes that Creed helped him cope with the passing of his son. Now, Creed 2 didn't achieve the same level of award recognition, but it still generated solid critic reviews. Creed 3 received even better reviews, continuing the series' success. In addition to critically acclaim, all three movies have been major hits and accomplished their own flavor with the series while still fitting very well into the original franchise. I, for one, love the action scenes, love the camera movements during the actual fighting around. Very well done. Adonis is the illegitimate son of the late Apollo Creed, a former world champion, and was born from an affair. After his mother passes away in the 90s, Adonis spends his early years in foster care and juvenile hall. He was later adopted by Mary Ann Creed, Apollo's widow. Despite living a life of luxury and holding a stable white-collar job, Adonis decided to abandon it all to pursue his long-life dream of becoming a professional boxer. He moves to Philadelphia as one does and convinces his late father's friend Rocky Balboa to train and mentor him. So release date for this is yet to be set in stone. It'd be great if it was coming out sometime in 2025. Wish it was even sooner. Somehow we'd see it in 2024. But don't be surprised if this comes all the way back to 2026, 2027. Now, I believe the franchise anniversary is in 2026, so it would be fitting time to release it around there, but we'll see. Carrying on the Shield, we have Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Now, I have to admit the trailer for this looks freaking awesome. I have sort of long since stepped away from Marvel movies. I've never really been a comic book fan to begin with, more of an anime manga fan, but the trailer looks dope. I know I literally just talked about Blade because it's technically a Marvel movie now, but you get what I mean when I say I stepped out. They just haven't really been hitting home as of late, except for maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, which the last one was really good. Now, Captain America Brave New World as its title. To sum up the events for you that don't know, during the fallout related to the Sokovia Accords, which are an agreement between countries to basically control and regulate supers, aka the Avengers, Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, sides with Rogers, aka Captain America, and becomes a fugitive as a result. He returns to the big screen during the conflict against Thanos, falling victim to the blip. After being restored to life, he is personally appointed by the now retired Rogers to become the new Captain America, also receiving from him a specially made version of the iconic shield. However, believing he can't live up to it because he's a little, you know what I'm talking about, he gives it to the US government to appoint some no-name guy, I don't know who he is, as Captain America instead. So whatever, things happen during, the following conflict. Wilson finally accepts the title, and in this standalone movie, he finds himself at the center of an international incident and must work to stop the true brains behind it. Almost feels like it could be like a Mission Impossible, James Bond, maybe Olympus Has Fallen kind of thing. A little bit more grounded in, I guess, reality versus the, magic and stuff that other Marvel shows or other Marvel movies have had. Sam Wilson was born and raised in Louisiana, where his family ran a fishing business. As you can guess, he didn't do that. Instead, he joined the US military Air Force as a pararescueman. He was selected to test a prototype military wingsuit along with his friend Riley, but Riley sucked at it, and so he died on a mission by an RPG. And Wilson, who was unable to save him because he also sucked at that point, got all depressed and whatnot. So after his Air Force services, he becomes a trauma counselor to help other people who've gone through things during their tours. But finally, after all of that is said and done, becoming close friends with Steve Rogers after assisting him during the Hydra Rising, he's later recruited by Rogers to join the Avengers, and we know what happens. Everything I mentioned beforehand, getting the shield, denying the shield, and eventually becoming Captain America in this movie. Or I guess it was the previous series with him and Winter Soldier. I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it before I watch this movie. Now, every Marvel movie has its controversy, and Brave New World is no exception. Controversy from the new trailer due to the inclusion of an Israeli character, Ruth Bat Seraph. The involvement of this character has become a big problem and has people calling for, can you guess what the activist strategy on this one is? Ding, 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 ding. If you guess racist, you were wrong. It was boycotts. Gotcha. Apparently, the original origin of the character was that she was part of an Israeli agency, but in the new version, she's part of the US agency instead. The internet has even crowned her she who shall not be named. You know how the internet is. We'll see how it goes. A lot of the times these boycotts, like that of Starbucks or whomever else they tend to boycott, doesn't really do anything and isn't really favorable for either side. So hopefully the movie can just be what it is, a movie, and no one can draw too much real world politics into it though. I think I'm asking for a lot at the world at this point, especially given this year. But you know, one can hope. This is set to be released February 14th, 2025, so as long as nothing gets in the way, they've already done reshoots or are doing reshoots or are in the process of getting reshoots done, so as long as that's the only thing, we should be good. Anyways, that's it for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about these movies. Are you excited? Are you going to watch them when they come out? Let me know down below and come back for more.